We're live.
Yeah,
All
so
right.
so this week has been awful to say the least. But if you can't hear my voice is a little scratchy. Um, Last week my wife was sick, and I was kind of coming down with it, and I was fighting it off. But the stress this week has just made it worse. So Monday we were driving back home from my in-laws' house over Spanish Fork Canyon in Utah, which they've actually deemed the deadliest highway in the United States.
Wow.
Um, And anyway, we thought that it was clear. We had checked the weather before we left because we didn't want to drive through a snowstorm. And it turned out that once we got to the way you drive through the canyon, you go up to a summit, and then you drive back down the other side of the canyon. And just when we got past the summit, we basically drove into a blizzard. And I was going a little bit too fast for the road conditions. I tried to slow down. We had the four-wheel drive on, but it just wasn't happening. And I've been driving in snow on my ever since I was 16. But anyway, so we slid across all four lanes of traffic. The oncoming car was able to stop, and the semi behind us was able to stop, but we slammed into the barrier. And that spun us around, so we're sitting in the lane coming up the other side. My wife's terrified of driving in the snow anyway, so she's screaming, and my kids are all screaming, and
Oh God.
so then we get going down the canyon, and we are fishtailing all over the place.
Oh
If you're
no.
not familiar with the term, I know we have some folks that don't speak English natively. It's when the back end of your car keeps shimmying back and forth as
Literally
it
looks like a
slides on the
fishtail.
road. Yeah. So anyway, it was doing that down the canyon, and we were seeing other cars just drive past us that weren't fishtailing at all. And so I got out to look at the car, and the one tire was turned out about 10 degrees.
Oof.
Oh yeah.
And the thing is the conditions in the canyon, we didn't know if we could get help if we stopped again. So I drove the rest of the way down the canyon like that. We were sliding all over the place.
Oh man, you're a
So,
brave guy. That's
Seriously.
so
Wow.
it was about an hour and 20 minutes of that. Got it down the canyon, got it to the tire store. I was hoping it was in alignment, but it wasn't. We had bent the tie rod and the wheel bearing in the back, and
Yeah.
uh, we're gonna have to get a new bumper. But the bumpers you can get them at the junkyard anyway. So that stressed me out, and I was having nightmares for a couple of days, and just I had this major guilty feeling, even though there really wasn't anything I could have done. But
yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
Wow.
so the stress has made me ill.
Yeah.
No, I hear you, man. That sucks.
Oh
Glad
man.
everyone's okay, but
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah. Any accident you walk out of is always a good one, right? So.
Yeah.
yeah. And then my wife rear-ended somebody yesterday, same
Oh
car.
gosh. Oh no.
Jeez.
I
Man.
was like, you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
And then she started half laughing and half crying yesterday when at one point I looked at her and said, "Well, the other accident."
Yeah.
I had one of those like similar experiences in in the western weather. I was driving home from a friend's wedding from Pocatello, Idaho,
Hmm.
to Boise, and we thought it was supposed to snow a little, but it was supposed to be fairly clear, and there was just a blizzard like nothing you ever seen, and I was driving like this Xterra that only had front wheel drive, and we're driving through this like I'm white knuckling it right because you can't
Hmm.
see. I'm following the lights of a semi truck in front of me because I cannot see the road. You can't
Yeah.
like that's the only way I know that and I'm hoping he's driving on the road and not through the foothills or whatever,
Yeah.
right? And I get through that like just white knuckling it the whole time, like like 45 minutes of this, right? And finally we're getting close to Boise, like get to Mountain Home, Idaho, or right on the way to Mountain Home, and then so I'm like, all right, the snow stopped. It's just kind of like it's like sort of raining, like freezing rain, kind of, right? And that's kind of dying down. And so and I'm going like 40 miles an hour, so I'm still taking it, and then all of a sudden whoosh! I didn't even know what was happening. I'm facing the other direction on the freeway, and we're sliding sideways. And
Yeah.
I look out my window, right, and I see a gorge. Like, and we're going like 25 miles an hour sliding sideways. Like, we are going fast sideways, right? And that gorge is like maybe 10 feet from us at the most, and then there's like a 40-foot drop, right? So
Uh-huh.
I was like, oh shit, I looked over at my wife, and she can't see the gorge, and I was like, I was like, that's it. We're gonna die. I was like, oh shit, we're gonna die. Because it's like there's nothing. I'm slamming on the brake as hard as I can, and just like praying for a second, just like but I wanted to be prepared. Like, oh shit, we're gonna die. Like, this is it. And because there's no way we're surviving that, if we fall
Right.
off. And the car comes to a skidding halt just like inches from the gorge. Like, I look out my window and I can see straight down, and I was like, I'm carefully getting out of the of the car, and it's like, I mean, we're like 5 or 6 inches from the edge. Yeah, that was my scary. I wouldn't drive on the ice for a long time after that.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, it snowed today, so I don't have a whole lot of choice.
Yeah. But I mean, the snow is actually not as bad as like this. If you have freezing rain, that's when you got to stay inside.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, and around here, what happens is they'll either salt the road, or on the road I live on, the city doesn't really come and plow all that often. I mean, you get 2 or 3 roads out, and then, they've plowed that. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it gets compacted, and then it gets warm, and it melts a little bit, and then it freezes at night. And then,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it
then the
gets
whole
really-
it's a sheet of that ice, that permafrost, like, yeah.
So, anyway, yeah, I've been kind of messed up this week, though. But anyway. But yeah,
Well-
so that was my week.
So productive.
I know, right?
Hey, at least you're scared. That's
Yeah, we made it.
Survived.
We made it through.
Yeah.
no one went to the hospital. That's
Yeah. That's why we bought an SUV. Could take a licking.
John, would you make a note to avoid that area while we're tooling around next week?
which area?
Yeah, the whole Utah, and especially the radius around Chuck's house, because
Oh yeah.
I don't know, just worried.
You got a bad feeling, huh?
Yep.
You don't have to worry about that in San Diego.
Yeah.
It's funny. Home insurance in San Diego is like the price of a house that's like 3 times or 4 times more expensive than one in Florida. Then home insurance is half the price.
Oh wow.
Wow. So hurricanes beat earthquakes apparently.
Yeah, earthquakes are pretty rare events. Hurricanes happen every single year. Like, earthquake, like significant earthquakes.
Yeah.
In a
How?
specific
Yeah.
area.
What is that? Did you guys research that? Like, what is the earthquake situation actually like there?
Well, this is my my non-politically correct, highly technical analysis of earthquake situation in California.
Oh, I can't wait.
San Francisco and Los Angeles are fucked. San Diego is okay.
Okay. All right.
When you look at the fault lines, they are just screwed. They are
Yeah.
just totally screwed. San Diego and Los Angeles, it's just all fault lines all over there. Like earthquake, liquefaction risk, everything is just like when the apocalypse happens, boom, those 2 cities are just gone. And San Diego will probably just be kind of chilling.
Those 2 cities.
You'll be
it's not
looking
if,
over your shoulder at the smoking crater, going, "Oh."
It's not if, it's when, huh?
Yeah. So yeah. It looks pretty neat. I mean, there's a few fault lines here, and it's not like there's no.
There's a
but-
fault line in Waco.
Yeah.
Running basically right down Interstate 35. So it's not like fault lines are unusual anywhere. It's just which ones are active.
Yeah. We
Well, and
had
they're
a,
becoming more active with the fracking, right?
Yeah, seriously. We're fracking up the fault lines for sure.
Oh my
The
gosh.
is there any scientific evidence that it actually messes with the fault line?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
the
I
earthquake.
haven't
There's
looked
like
into it.
There is a crap ton of evidence out there, but the big corporations keep buying off our politicians to say that there isn't.
for once we agreed, Eric. Yes,
Yeah.
that's on that because it's true. Like there's data, right?
Yeah.
I may not believe in climate change, but there's significant data that we've observed for this
Yeah.
happening and causing earthquakes. So
Oh, I see. So there's
Places-
actual data to support the fracking claim?
Yeah, there are
Yeah.
places around the country where there have historically not been any significant earthquakes, and once fracking has been introduced, they're now getting a regular stream of earthquakes.
what's really scary is there's a very high earthquake. There's like a fault line like around New York City. Like it's actually an earthquake risk
Ooh.
area.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if there's an earthquake in like Manhattan? Like that would just nothing
man.
is nothing. None of the construction is earthquake retrofit.
Yeah.
Like, now even in California, like I'm exaggerating with LA and San Francisco. Like every new structure and stuff they build to like
Mhm.
withstand like significant earthquakes because
Yeah.
they have they've tested it. They've actually simulated. So like it's fairly safe. But New York, no, that's it. That city would just collapse because they don't earthquake retrofit anything. At least as far as I know. Maybe some of the bigger buildings, but
Have you guys seen the news stories about? There's somebody, I forget where this is happening, but it might be like it's in one of the oceans. It might be like the Indian Ocean. They're trying to drill through the Earth's crust. Have you seen
that's
this?
cool.
Like, have you never read any science fiction novel ever? Like, oh my gosh, like that just like, there's just so many things that could go wrong there. I don't even know where to start.
They have read them. They read 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. There are dinosaurs down there. Real life ones.
That's right.
Yeah, there's going to be like a spinning like that. There's going to be a reverse magnet or gravity. Like there'll be people that there's like a whole world that's upside down and
No. See, I've been watching Transformers with my kids, so I know that Unicron is down there. Unicron the Destroyer.
Oh, gotcha. I heard some people talking about hollow Earth theory that, below the crust there's just that it's sort of like some kind of inactive star or something. I didn't quite get it. But anyway.
What?
So we're gonna open a black hole.
Yeah, basically. You poke a hole in it and it lets all the air out.
Yeah.
I'm
that
so
Hollow Earth is
confused.
pretty interesting, though. Like you should look it up. It is pretty interesting. Like there's some compelling arguments. I'm not saying I believe it, but it's like prove me wrong that the Earth isn't hollow. Yeah, really, like it makes
Well,
sense. Sure.
when I knock on it, it doesn't make that doom, doom noise. So.
There's actually like a flat Earth society, and the hollow Earth stuff is a little bit more like plausible, like as if any could be, but they have actually like fairly significant theories of how the Earth could still be flat, like and how like you could misconceive the way it's interesting. I mean, it's not obviously it's cuckoo, but they actually have like if I think it's called Flat Earth Society. Like you can read the theory. It's like, oh, okay, I could see. Like it just goes to show you how you could rationalize away just about you could explain anything. Yeah,
Literally anything.
yeah.
You could do the absolute most horrible things to other people and rationalize it to yourself and be perfectly okay with it.
Yeah. So.
Like using your daughter's story of tragedy to
Exactly.
sell
Girl Scout cookies. What kind of jerk would? Oh wait.
Well, you're exploiting her for her, so I guess that's okay.
Yes, I am. That's right. Wait, hold on.
That's awesome.
I couldn't resist writing that story. So, for people that are not on our private mailing list, which is everybody, so my daughter's in Girl Scouts, and I'm selling Girl Scout cookies with her. Technically, she's selling them, and I'm helping her. All that good stuff. So there's this post I did on Facebook and sent it to my friends, my family, and whatnot on Facebook. This is like the only thing I've posted on Facebook in years. I mean, literally years. And so it's this total sob story about how my daughter's getting all of these great new experiences in Girl Scouts, being her first year, But along with the good experiences come the bad experiences, such as the time where she took a tumble off of a 4-foot-tall loading dock and landed on her back and her head, and screaming and crying and injured and all that while at Girl Scouts. But she didn't want to go home. She didn't want to sit out and just watch. She got back up and went back in and did all of the activities with all the rest of the girls. And so I've got this giant long story. It's just like incredibly heart-wrenching, tearful kind of story on Facebook that ends with how proud I am of my little trooper for getting back up, and how much I am so proud to be able to support her in her love of Girl Scouts. And don't you want to support her as well by buying Girl Scout cookies from here? Here's the online order form link. Go buy a few.
Wow.
Tell a good story, right?
Yeah.
That's what marketing is.
I'm curious.
I'm a horrible human being. I know. I'm terrible. So I don't know if we've actually got any sales off of that yet. I've had a whole bunch of family members and other people liking the story, so it's definitely making its rounds. But I won't know if there have been any sales or not for a few days. It takes a while for their online order system to update.
Maybe it'll go viral. You can just...
That would be awesome. Sell like 1 million Girl Scout cookies. There are some girls in the troop that will sell, legitimately sell 1,000 boxes of Girl Scout cookies.
Wow.
In this 1 month. And that's not like the troop total. That'll be one individual girl selling 1,000 boxes. I think we've sold about 60 so far. And we're not like hugely aggressive about it. We're not going out every day or even every weekend. We just do it when we have time and when the weather is nice and things like that. And actually, I had a house appraiser in this morning taking pictures and measurements of the house and everything because we're refinancing the house. And he saw our living room table full of Girl Scout cookies. We've got like 10 cases of cookies sitting on the dining room table. And he made the comment, something like, I've been doing this for 25 years, inspecting people's houses and appraising houses, and you definitely have the corner on Girl Scout cookies.
Nice.
he ended up buying 5 boxes.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
So the refinancing, that's a scalable ruse you could use there. Just
totally.
That's right.
Yeah. I need an inspector to come look at. Yeah, I need. I'm going to spend $500 so that you'll come buy $20 worth of cookies. Yes, that's great.
Yeah, we changed our minds. We don't need the refinance no more.
But hey, look, I've got Girl Scout cookies. Oh, yes. Fun stuff. So I have a question that Josh already answered, but I want to discuss. I've been using can't think of it now, SumoMe for email sign-up form on my blog for a while now. And the whole reason this is coming up is because Rob Connery got into a conversation with him earlier this week where he's basically telling me how horrible it is that I have this giant welcome mat on my blog for email signups. And we got into a big discussion about it and what my goal is and how I'm turning email signups into Watch Me Code signups. And end result of the conversation is he understands why I'm doing it now. He and I both think that it's horrible. I really do, but it's effective. So what am I going to do, otherwise? But long story short, skipping past all of that, I wanted to go in and customize the way SumoMe is the way it looks. And it turns out that I can't customize it very much because I'm using the free versions, which is great for just getting signups and having the simple forms there and everything. But it's not exactly what I want, and I know I could do better if I could customize it more. So the question came up in my mind, should I go ahead and pay the $40 a month for the SumoMe Email Pro package, or should I switch to Thrive themes and completely redo my blog theme with Thrive, or just get the plugins for the email sign up stuff, or what should I do with this? What's the best direction for me to go?
So I like tacos, and I like Noah. But
I have related questions, but I'm going to let you answer.
Yeah, I'm confused again.
well, Thrive hands down is like the just awesome.
Yeah.
They're just building so much stuff into it, and it's cheaper. Like, I mean, I like the Sumo Me stuff. Don't get me wrong, and it's awesome stuff. But the Thrive stuff is just so awesome.
Yeah.
I'll let Josh know.
It only works in WordPress, right?
Well, that's what I'm doing.
Yes.
Right. Yes.
Yes. That's one good reason to go with SumoMe. But yeah, the Thrive, like I was kind of on the fence about. I really liked Thrive for landing pages. I built the 10 steps landing page with the Thrive landing page builder, and I was really happy with it. But I hadn't played too much with the opt-in stuff until this week, and we just added some. I just set up a welcome mat on Simple Programmer to advertise the brand new email course we launched this week to promote the 10 steps course. And oh my goodness, Thrive is amazing. Yeah, Derek, you can completely customize. So for starters, you don't have to use the Thrive themes on your blog.
Okay.
I'm actually not a big fan of the ones that I've seen. I'm going to go back and look at them again, but the ones that I've seen, I don't really like them. And I'd rather, I don't like I'm not really a big fan of the all-in-one plugins that like want to take over your site and do everything for you.
Yeah.
But Thrive, you can use all of the opt-in stuff without buying into the themes if you don't want to.
So it's just the Thrive leads then?
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, and you get this really nice. They just added this new dashboard thing where you can kind of see. It gives you like real easy access to all the different parts of the plugin. I mean, it's a massive plugin. It's like 100 megabytes or something, and it's packed with stuff. But yeah, like you can set up the A/B testing is fantastic. So with SumoMe, you're going to be paying $20 a month, indefinitely. With Thrive, I think it's like $200 or $300 for the license now, but you get everything. You get the full, the full functionality.
Yeah.
It's real easy.
They upped the license on that?
Yeah, they upped the price on it recently.
Oh wow, I got it for like $70 when it first.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
nice.
I paid like $200, and then it went up again. So.
Okay.
Yeah, just the Thrive leads on its own. $100 for unlimited sites.
I would buy all. For me, I would definitely just buy the whole thing because you get the landing page builder, and the landing page builder is awesome. It is way better than lead pages. It's I like it better than ClickFunnels. ClickFunnels is a monthly. You have to pay monthly for that, and it's kind of clumsy. This is definitely. It's you have 100% control of your landing pages, and and you're not paying the monthly fee, and just the editor is way better. It definitely takes some getting used to be productive with the editor, but if you build 1 or 2 pages, you'll be set, and it's pretty intuitive after that.
I don't see a one-time purchase option.
Well, it is a one-time. It's a yearly. There's an annual.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
That's annoying. Yeah. So the default is to pay annually, $50 a month. But they don't list the total price. So it looks like they advertise it as if it's a monthly cost, even though the default is to pay annually.
Yeah. So I set up a welcome mat today or yesterday, and it was so easy. And you have complete control of it.
Okay.
You can use the Drip API, although I'm not sure. I think there's an issue with if you use the API connection to where it always sends out the confirmation email. So I'm not sure if that's a bug on Drip's end or on Thrive's end.
It always sends out the confirmation email from who?
From Drip. So I use single opt-in.
Like double opt-in?
Yeah, it's double opt-in.
I always double opt-in.
Oh, okay. I always use single opt-in because.
Josh,
yeah.
when you connected the form, did you use the the automatic drip connection, or did you manually do the?
Initially, I used the API, the automatic API connection, and it was sending a confirmation email. And then I switched it out for a form, and I fiddled with it, and I figured out how to get the form to not send the I actually emailed Rob this morning a little rant because I was like, Rob, this is one of my few gripes is that it is really hard to figure out how to get your stupid campaign to not send a double opt-in email. Like there's several settings you have to change to get it to work, and it takes me half an hour to an hour every single time I want to do it. It's really annoying. But
yeah, you want to use the form and then you can throw a tag on there too.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's what I'm doing is I've got like if you see my opt-ins, so then I'm tagging the source and drip.
Yeah. Yep.
Automatically. There's a couple ways to do it, but yeah.
I'd like to. Yeah, exactly.
But I'd also say that the themes, the Thrive themes, are worth it as well. I mean, there's some pretty good themes in there, but the thing is not just the look of the theme; it's the functionality. I'm not even using we'll have to talk about this some, Josh. There's a lot of functionality in the Thrive theme that I didn't even get around to implementing. But the nice thing about the Thrive themes is that it's all designed for internet marketing. Like it is designed for email capture first, so they're like super fast and snappy. Like it's designed to be extremely fast loading, and then it has the stuff integrated for the forms, and there's like all kinds of stuff for like adding ad groups. Well, at least it depends on the theme, but like focus areas and light boxes, and like so you can have different parts like in your content automatically like putting opt-ins. And then they just recently added this thing that's just like the lead pages. Remember that lead link thing? So you can click a link and it'll automatically subscribe them to a campaign. So there's it's like
and you can do content upgrades too.
Yep.
So you can give. So how does the lead links? I think that works. I think the way that works is you can give it gives you the option to give a link to somebody else to use on their email list, and all they have to do is put the token in their URL in the URL. So when they send out the email, the subscriber email address gets swapped into the URL, and then you click it, and it automatically subscribes you to your list.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's a pretty slick way of doing signups. Like if you do something with like a JV or something with somebody else, you don't have to have them go and fill out an opt-in form. They can click. It's a one-click opt-in.
Nice.
And so some of the things I really liked about the theme part of it too that like really convinced me was they have image compression built in to the themes, so you don't have to add a secondary one. And then they also have the social media sharing built in, so you don't have to use, because I kept on adding like these plugins and they're great, but they would slow down the site so much. Whereas since they've integrated in here, it's much faster.
SumoMe has the built-in sharing as well.
Right. That's all client side. So that's the advantage of SumoMe.
Yeah.
Well, but that's what slows it down is the client side.
So I have a question related to this, and that is, since all these tools are only available on WordPress, I'd like to use them, but I think I'm probably going to wind up just using SumoMe because it's a Rails application. I do have the blog that's running on WordPress, but is it worth having a difference in experience between the two to use Thrive themes, or should I just set it all up so that it all works under the same sort of system?
I'd set it up under one thing.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm leaning.
Yeah.
It would be a pain in the butt to have to do it. You set it up multiple times and keep it in sync.
If you change anything, you're going to have to change it in two places.
That would be a deal breaker. SumoMe, I've really liked SumoMe, and I was almost. I mean, I had my credit card out in hand, ready to pay the $40 a month for the SumoMe Email Pro, and thought to myself, oh, I should ask first. So. Yeah.
I mean, I was not really expecting, like, this week I wasn't really if you'd asked me this earlier in the week, I would have been like, it's kind of a toss up.
Yeah.
But now having played more with the Thrive Leads stuff, it's no contest in my book.
So one more question I have: the Thrive Lead stuff, as far as putting up the landing pages. Should I put that on the blog since it's WordPress and then just host them over there? Is that worth thinking about, or
that would be a lot easier? It would be a lot easier to put up new landing pages that way than if you had to build them all from scratch with HTML.
Well, and I don't think people will mind going to blog.devchat.tv/path to landing page as opposed to devchat.tv. It looks the same.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I would do something.
One thing you might do is put in some simple redirects on the main site just for your landing pages.
Yeah, I have that built in already. It's basically a URL shortener. I can put anything on devchat.tv and it'll.
So that way you can give people the shorthand devchat.tv/foo, and they can type that in, and it'll just redirect them to the real landing page.
Yeah, to blog.devchat.tv/foo-sales-page.html or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. Those are all my questions.
So my next question is, who am I going to pay to do the conversion over to Thrive Themes for me?
Josh. I'm just kidding.
Josh is not taking anything else on. John and I have talked about this.
Not even for Derek. We all love Derek.
Josh realized this week that he's been saying no to 80% of the opportunities that come his way, but that still means that he's saying yes to 20% of them, which is still kind of a lot.
Yeah.
So, Josh has been canceling all kinds of things this week and regaining focus. So,
Josh should give in to Chuck's guilt trip.
We need to get a VA who's trained on Thrive.
Yeah, WordPress in general.
Yeah. Well,
they have training videos. You should be able to just get them in and let them watch the videos and then answer any questions they have from there.
Yeah. Well, you need somebody who's got at least some ability to eyeball something and not create a dreadful design. Or even if somebody just could get it roughed out, like you could go in and tweak it. So I've got a new VA that I hired. His name is Nat, and he's from Russia, and he has been helping me with a lot of stuff. Like I've been wanting for the longest time to get my websites off of Linode and into DigitalOcean, just because it's a lot easier to use and it's a little cheaper. And I had 3 sites from a client project that I wanted to get off of my box and onto a standalone server, so that if I have issues with my site, it doesn't take his stuff down. So Nat has been helping me with a ton of stuff, and his pricing's good. Yeah, he applied actually I put a job out there on Upwork to hire somebody to help me with posting blog posts in WordPress and get my format emails into Drip and that sort of thing. And Nat replied, and he's a Ben Settle fan, and he also mentioned Vim and Atom in his application. Nice. I don't think he knew about my Sublime stuff, so I was like, oh, cool, he's a geek. And then
otherwise that means he researched you. Which is
he did research me because he saw on my about page. He read my about page. Yeah, he did a good job. So he went on Facebook and he liked my Facebook page, left me a comment there, and then read my about page and incorporated what he learned into his application.
He's good.
And he's got a background. He's done some marketing automation stuff, so I'm going to train him on Drip. He's pretty good with WordPress, and he also knows Linux. He mentioned just offhand that he's a Linux admin, so he's been doing a good job. Like he built me 2 DigitalOcean droplets. He's got he did some load testing, got Nginx set up with caching and everything. So I'm very happy. I've just been throwing all kinds of tasks at him. So he might be somebody that we could all use for this type of thing. But I don't think he's done anything with Thrive yet. but I plan when I get back from traffic and conversion, I'm going to train him on drip and get that off my plate, and then I'm going to train him on Thrive so he can throw up new pages and stuff.
So it sounds like I should probably look at hiring him for myself in about 3 months after you've done all the hard work.
Yeah, that would be a good move. So yeah, we'll have to see. We might use him for some simple programmer stuff too. I want to see a little more track record with him and just see how he works out.
Yeah.
But
I have a hard time trusting anyone else setting up Linux stuff for me. I'm always afraid that somebody I hire is going to put backdoors into the boxes and end up running some illegal scammy shit.
That is a risk, and I mean, I think Nat might be listening to this. He actually mentioned the podcast, so I think he might have. So if so, I apologize. But yeah, it's definitely a little nerve-wracking for me too.
I mean, it was hard enough for me to give people username and password for the podcast hosting.
Yeah,
I'm legitimately freaking out thinking about hiring somebody to do the admin side of things for me on the servers.
When Josh said this, I had the same reaction. I still have the same reaction. I'm thinking of a solution for this, and I think the solution for this is to, well, now it's not going to work.
Before announcing.
If you announce it, well, maybe you shouldn't announce it. We can talk about it on the mailing.
Okay, yeah. I think I have a solution for it, which, yeah. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have the same reservation because how do you know that someone's not or the
I mean,
as we used to joke track about like setting up the long con. Right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Like the short, you can figure that out, but the long con when someone's like, well, I'm gonna burn you 2 years from now.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I had coworkers at jobs, people that were my friends that did really, really shady things on their own box that the company gave to them to work with, and then on servers that they had access to within the company. I mean, if people that I work with and consider friends do shit like that, how do I trust people that I don't know? It's a hang up that I have. That's honestly that's one of the reasons I haven't ever hired a VA other than really dinky little work where they can't do any damage.
Yeah, I thought about. I've considered actually hiring somebody to just set up Chef.
Yeah.
To provision servers and deploy apps and things like that, because then they essentially build the recipes and then I can just review them and make sure there's nothing.
Mm-hmm. And the 100% irony in this conversation is that I am the guy that people hire to do stuff.
Yeah.
I'm the independent contractor sitting in my home office. And I get hired by people to do all these things and have administrative access and whatnot.
Well, two things. So 2 things about my situation. So I put out this. I feel better about it because for one, I didn't advertise for a Linux admin.
Yeah.
I advertised for a marketing assistant, and I saw this guy happen to have Linux experience, and I was like, oh, let's see how this works out. So, and I kind of what forced my hand was that my Linode actually came under attack.
Yeah.
And like basically
before
I hired him, my Linode came under attack, and like basically all my sites went offline for a whole day, and I wasn't because we had Varnish. We had it set up with Varnish and Nginx. The IP tables approach of blocking stuff didn't work because I think Varnish might bypass IP tables. I think you have to set it up to work with it. But so
well, all your traffic would be coming from Varnish, not from the web.
Yeah, and Varnish was listening on port 8080. Yeah. So so it was just my sites were down. And I didn't really there was really nothing I could do other than he was like, oh, I could help you migrate this, and I was like, okay, let's do it.
Sorry about that, Josh. Sometimes botnets have a mind of their own.
Nice. It's all those rogue Ruby sites you run.
Exactly.
So I didn't advertise for a Linux admin, so he didn't know. He wouldn't have had a way to engineer his way into that. And then the other thing is what is the bigger threat? Like some guy I hire and give access to my server, or the entire internet trying to take my server down, you know.
The one
And
guy.
the chances of me screwing something up and and leaving a vulnerability versus somebody who knows what they're doing screwing me, I don't know. I think I'll take my chances with the VA.
That's a good point.
I guess it's also what's the worst that could happen, right?
Yeah,
It's
I've got backups of the site. I'm going to set up Dropbox to back it up. So
Yeah,
I could hire somebody. I'm offline for a couple days, and I hire somebody else to.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's like kind of the worst case scenario for me. So it's a pretty low risk proposition, really.
It's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
yes.
But yeah, I don't know. Like I don't know. Like and I think even if I just don't. I would have no way of knowing one way or the other whether somebody was going to do something. So.
Well, you could do like what John does for real estate. Hire one person to do the inspection and another person to inspect the inspector.
Yeah. Well, I one thing I did do was I asked him to document everything. So I asked him to put together a maintenance schedule for me and document what he would do to maintain the boxes. And it was really good. He did a Google Doc, basically told me all the commands he would run, and like he's going to check for intrusions. It's stuff that I definitely wouldn't have been done. He's going to scan the box for viruses.
Nice.
He's going to check logs for intrusions, run all the updates. So I don't know. He seems like he gets stuff done and does what I ask him to, and
nice.
So I think the poor guy stayed up all night at one point. Like I told him, I was like, look, nothing that I have is that important.
Right.
Like I said, like if it's really urgent, I'll give you a deadline. Otherwise, I don't want you like staying up for 24 hours working on this stuff.
Yeah.
And he was like, thank you. So, yeah. So that's been an adventure for me.
That sounds like a good guy. I'll definitely, because I need somebody to manage my boxes. I probably have 1,000 security holes on my DigitalOcean boxes because I never maintain them. So
one thing that was also
to the world. And
I haven't run updates in 9 months. Go for it.
The last 0-day exploit that I patched was.
At least you've told non-technical people.
Yeah. One thing that was good too was I told him to install postfix on my box, and he dug in his heels and attempted to refuse. So basically, I have two websites that are old PHP sites that I wrote the very first programming that I ever did was these two PHP sites, and I used I used postfix to do mail sends from these websites, and he's like, no, we have to use Mandrill, and I was like, well, I'm going to have him rewrite the apps to use Mandrill, the Mandrill API, but I was like, we don't have time for that because my box is under attack, so just migrate it. We put them on a separate server that's separate from my stuff. This is my client site, so he did it, but he like threw a red flag when I asked him to do that, so that was
also
cool.
A good sign. Yes.
Yep. Unlike John's guy who
postfix
enabled postfix and then used it to set up a spam server, right?
Yeah, I hired this one guy to work on the 10 steps thing. Like actually before Josh launched it, he was going to do like similar to what I was just going to give him that project and I give him access to the server, and all of a sudden I'm getting like spam complaints and stuff, and like there's like wonky stuff going on, and I think he like installed like a plugin that had a backdoor or something and was using it as a spam relay. I was like, and then I never hear from the guy again, so I'm like, okay, I see.
See, that's like my fear of things like that happening. Fun stuff.
Yeah. So I'm officially moving to San Diego as soon as we close the loan. Check this out. So I got a 3.375% interest rate.
Wow.
And then
on a 30-year?
On a 30-year, yeah.
How?
Okay.
and then if I put 50K in a Citibank account, they'll knock another eighth of a point, so I'll get a 3.25% interest
Holy
rate
cow.
per year. Yeah, it's crazy.
Nice.
So, yeah.
They just want to be able to direct debit from the city account, right? The
Or
payments.
they're trying to get you to like open up their
Okay.
special account, but yeah, but still, it's crazy. I can't even believe the interest rate. That's just insane.
Yeah, that's insanely low.
Yeah.
We're doing a refinance right now, and we're going from like a 5.8 down to a 4.1, I think, which is still a huge improvement. I mean, that's like a 40% drop in the interest rate, and we're refinancing it to a 30-year loan, which is going to drop our monthly payment by about $500.
Oh wow.
That'll be a really nice drop in the monthly payment. We're going to keep paying what we've been paying. We've been overpaying anyways. And so we're going to keep paying what we've been paying, but we're going to get an extra $500 a month onto the principal every month, and we'll have the house paid off in 10 years.
Oh, nice.
Which would be pretty dang awesome.
Yeah, I'm on a we got a 4.25, so that was a while ago.
Yeah.
We refinanced the last time rates dropped really, really low, and
yeah.
we
should have done this 2 years ago. We were looking at like 2.9, 3.1 a couple of years ago.
Man.
But because of, I kept changing jobs and quitting unexpectedly. So we tried to do it in like 2012, and I hadn't been independent long enough. Then I went back to Telerik for a year. Then I quit Telerik after a year. So finally, it's okay. Let's keep this going.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm pretty excited about that rate. That's like insane rate.
That's
I was
awesome.
I had this other lender that my real estate agent had recommended, and he was fine, but he was giving me like 4-something% rate, and I was like, the real estate investor in me has to go and check, and because normally I shop rates first, and this was like so I looked online like on Zillow's site, and they gave me some quote of like 3.5, and I was like, that's BS. The online quotes are always wrong, right? So I called them up, and I was like, look, I know online quotes are wrong, but let me just check this. And then I gave him the details, and he's like, no, yeah, we could do that. In fact, I can probably get a concession for you, like if you can give me a commitment tomorrow to knock it down another quarter to 3.
Nice.
Wow.
So yeah, so I was like, yeah, if you can do that, you win. I've never seen a rate that low ever. So yeah, so it's going to be awesome. I think we're looking at probably closing around March 15th, so we'll be moving quickly. We're actually leaving San Diego early. We're leaving on the 14th. We just changed all our plane tickets. So and I had to cancel my plane ticket to MicroConf because I'll be driving up now.
Oh, okay. So you're not going to be at MicroConf?
No, I will be.
You're driving.
Yeah, because it's only like 4.5 hours from here.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, totally.
So yeah, and I'm excited about the place. It's like we just went over there to check it out again. Oh, here's a cool thing that there's like this upstairs. It's a 3-story, and the upstairs is the master suite, and in there's like it's supposed to be like a storage closet, but it's really like another room. So because it doesn't have a window, but we're putting a skylight in, and so that's my office, and in the office there's this like little nook that's like it's like 3 feet by like 5 feet, I think, right?
Yeah.
And it looks like just horrible space, right? Like, what is the point of this? But it's perfect for me. I think Derek could probably figure out what I'm going to use this for.
Recording?
Yeah. I am totally going to put a glass door in there, and make it a perfect soundproof, because it's like 3 feet by 5 feet. It'll be cheap to do. I can acoustically insulate the entire thing, because like when you try to do a whole room, it's expensive.
It'll be like a hot box.
Yeah.
It's probably on the outside wall, so the sun will bake it, and you'll just like you'll go in there and you'll sweat off like 10 pounds every day.
Yeah, but you can ventilate it. In fact, for a while I was looking at building my own little soundproof, maybe 4 foot by 6 foot room that would sit in the room that I work in.
Yeah.
And they have ventilation systems that put enough turns in it to where it dampens pretty much everything. So you can set it up if you go Google those. You can look at the plans and say, oh, I'll just do that.
But yeah, so it shouldn't be very
Pretty
expensive for
cool.
me to set up that little box, and then I'm gonna just put a shelf there and just have my laptop, and then I can just set up the microphone with the shelf, and
Yeah.
go in there. It'll be my standing desk as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I'm
Yeah,
pretty excited
I've got
about
my little recording studio in my closet.
it. Yeah.
I took one of the low-hanging shelves out and put a small desk in there, and then just put a bunch of soundproofing foam around it. Between the sound foam and the clothing hanging in the closet, it's ridiculously good quality sound coming out of there for being at home.
John, that can double as a panic room.
Yeah.
You go in there and it's like you're in this little glass box.
Yeah, I'll put I'll put the bat phone in there.
Yeah,
Totally.
I'll put Commissioner Gordon's phone. There's a zombie apocalypse. Oh yeah, I'll also get a samurai sword in case there's a
Yes.
zombie apocalypse.
Nice.
Actually, I've got the perfect weapon. Actually, for a zombie attack, what it is the 6-foot pole with a knife attached to the end. That's it. That's all you need.
Well, I'm glad you're getting your bases covered there.
Yeah.
Well, basically, that's a pole saw. You just need a very long tree trimming pole saw, and just a chainsaw at the end of it.
Maybe a halberd.
Take their heads off.
But yeah, it's going to be. I think it's going to be awesome. Like I said, it's kind of expensive. It's the biggest purchase I've ever made, but
it's also an investment. That's the thing.
Yeah, it is. I mean, especially at this interest rate, like in this area.
Mm-hmm.
It's 6 blocks from the beach, so you can from the beach boardwalk there, so you can just like walk right down to the beach. It's like 3 blocks from Vaughn's, from grocery store and Trader Joe's and all this, and then it's like a few blocks from the public library and from the bay. It's flanked by the bay. So on one side there's this Mission Bay where there's like SeaWorld, like you can see SeaWorld from there, and then on the other side is the ocean.
Wow.
So yeah, so it's like a primo spot.
Is it occupied at the moment?
No, it's brand new construction.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
So, yeah. So that's.
What's the total square feet between all of the floors?
It's a little over 1,800 square feet.
Nice.
So it's not huge, but
but
still,
the space
that's really well used. So.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sitting in a 2,100 square foot house, and I like the shape of the house, but it's not the best well-used space. There's basically 3 bedrooms where I am, this big giant open area for everything, and then the master suite. And that big giant open space it kind of causes us problems as a family because we don't have a clear distinction for living room, dining room, play area for the kids. So our toys are literally strung around in this line throughout the entire big space for the kids because there's no real place for them to put everything. So we've been talking about adding a new room out into the backyard, off of the main area, just to have a place to put all of the toys and playthings, so that the rest of that big open space can be kept nice and clean and tidy.
We have the same problem in our first floor. Our house is 32,000 square feet. Or 32.
Whoa!
Big warehouse.
Anyway, but yeah, we have the same kind of thing where the kitchen is right off the living room, which is, this kind of long, weird shaped room, and then there's...
Nice.
But yeah, this one it's technically a condo, right? Because it's like the house I've got. But so they've very efficiently used this space. Because the house that I'm in currently in Tampa, the one thing, like we have this huge kitchen and huge living space, and it's nice, and it looks nice. But the practicality of it is that like that square footage is kind of wasted, and also like a ridiculously huge master bedroom. And it's like, well, what do you do with a ridiculously huge master bedroom? Like,
well, my wife has her home office in our master bedroom. That's what we do with our ridiculously huge master bedroom.
Yeah, but aside from
other than that, totally.
Yeah, I'd rather have the space. I'd rather have more rooms with more like defined spaces that are. So, so I'm pretty excited. I think this is going to be a nice. It's perfect location, nice place. Like I think it'll be worth the extra money that it'll cost. Like tripling my mortgage payment or whatever.
Yeah.
And then we got our house on the market in Tampa, and it should the real estate agent thinks it'll sell like in a week or two, so
Nice.
that should be good.
Cool.
But I'll be moving hopefully for the last time. I haven't moved in a long time.
Yeah. Well, I've been in this house for 10 years now, and this is literally the longest I have ever lived in a house. In one place. I stopped counting when I left college. I stopped counting at around 35 different houses in apartments.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, we've moved a lot, and it's not like I've been moving across the country and my dad's not in the army or anything. It's just for various life circumstances. I can count apartments and houses in my hometown and just get into. I mean, I can literally drive around my hometown anywhere in the town of 15,000 people and say, yeah, I lived here, I lived here, I lived here. There's not a neighborhood that we didn't live in.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
new in the business side.
Business side of the world. Watch Me Code's been doing mediocre. I think I am hitting the downturn of my December lack of blogging. Because if I look at SumoMe for December, there is a direct correlation between the number of email signups that I've had in December and the number of blog posts I didn't write in December. I basically, for at least half of December, I didn't write a blog post, and for the other half, I wrote like one post a week, compared to my usual 2 new posts a week. So I was only sending out 2 emails a week for most of December, which negatively impacted my email signups. And right now, in the beginning of February, is the end of January, beginning of February, is when the people that signed up for my mailing list in December would be getting onto the hard pitch for Watch Me Code through Drip. So I've lost more subscribers than I've gained in the last couple of weeks. I've only had 3 new subscribers in the month of February so far, so less than 1 a day. Compared to January, I had 35 new subscribers, and then in December I had 42 new subscribers. So I'm definitely hitting a downward slump, and I think there's a direct correlation to the number of blog posts that I had written.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a bummer. I'm sitting at 406 subscribers right now, active, which is still a good number. I've stayed above 400, which I'm happy about. But I would like to get that number. I want to get above 425 and keep it above 425 for a while. And I was heading in that direction until this last little slump. I was at like 419, and I had been at 419 for a couple of weeks until things started dropping here. But my income in December was like 3,600, little over 3,600, and for January it was just under 3,600. So it was a tiny drop in revenue, which is kind of a bummer as well. But I haven't done a big sale of bundles in a while either since the Black Friday. So I'm starting to plan my next big bundle, which is going to be all of the Express.js architecture stuff. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got at least 5 different series of screencasts that I can include in this next bundle, and each series is going to have, probably an average of 7 episodes. So we're looking at like 30 to 40 episodes that I'll be able to include in this next bundle. So I'm trying to start lining up some interviews to do, similarly to what I did with RabbitMQ, and I can put this together and bill it as the Node.js, Express.js training guide for new JavaScript developers, or for JavaScript developers wanting to get into the back end side of things. It'll take you from ground zero all the way out to well architected systems of Node.js and Express.js. So I think it'll be pretty huge. I think it'll be pretty awesome. I expect that I'd be able to bring in 20 or 30,000 off of this. I brought in about 14,000 off of the RabbitMQ stuff.
Nice.
So
And that
with
seems a lot
this
more
many,
specialized.
yeah, this is going to have a lot more broad appeal. This has been an incredibly popular set of series that I've been doing. People are just falling in love with the series head over heels because it's not just it's not demo code, it's not just sample code. It's I'm building a legit service that I need for Watch Me Code, and I'm recording it as Watch Me Code episodes. This is what I do every day. This is my actual live code that I'm putting in production, and people are really enjoying that aspect of it and seeing how I get all of these things together.
Yeah, I like your this idea of building the bundles and then putting them on sale. That adds the extra revenue. And you've got the series, and you've still got. I was just checking your page, like these as you're putting these bundles together. I'm not finding it. Like, do you have a place where you're selling all these bundles?
The individual series page. I don't have the latest couple of them listed, but if you click on like the Pro Express.js series and scroll down to the bottom, you'll see a price tag for it.
Let me see.
So I'm not advertising the bundles very heavily. You got to go through the series page and into the individual series to see the bundle sale. So that is something that I definitely need to improve on the site. Last year in 2015, half of my entrepreneurial income came through bundle sales, basically.
I don't see how to buy a bundle. Like, I just looked at deploying Express apps series.
I haven't listed that one yet as a for sale bundle, but if you click on the Pro Express.js, it's the second on the left, down on the left.
You might as well put some prices on all of these, I think.
I should. I just haven't gotten around to doing it for the last couple of them.
Okay, I see. Cool. Yeah, I think this is going to be good because then you can sell these a la carte.
Yeah. And I was talking and ended up in a conversation about this specifically with Rob Connery, and he was telling me that the majority of his income came through annual subscriptions and bundle sales.
Yep.
So I'm thinking I really do need to get the annual subscription in place.
Yep.
Is that because of the corporate thing? It's just easier to get the once a year approval.
Yep. There's a huge push for that from corporate people, and then even for me as an individual. I go and look at Thrive Themes or Drip. I do this with Drip. I'd rather spend that $1,000 or whatever it is for the whole year and be done with it and not have to think about it again. Because when I see that monthly ping against my credit card, that's like, do I still need this? Yeah, I'm still using it. But if I pay for it that one time, it was like, oh great, I have this for the whole year. And it hits me once a year, and I'm like, crap, what was that huge charge? Oh, yeah, I'm totally using this. I love it.
Well, I'm actually the opposite. I hate having the huge annual balloon payment thing hanging over my head. So I actually avoid that. There's only like one or two things that I will do that with.
It depends on the service, I guess. If it's something that I know I'm not going to need for very long, I certainly won't.
Right.
Like, honestly, I think I've paid an annual fee for a screencast service once, and that was with, Jeffrey Grosenbach's before he got bought by Pluralsight, whatever it was called. Peepcode, yeah. So I paid for an annual sub on Peepcode once. Joey Bunninghoff and I went in together and bought a 2-pack of annuals because it was like $100 each to do it that way versus more than $200 individually.
Yeah.
So it was a huge sale that we did, and that's the only time I've ever paid an annual for screencast subscriptions. But I've had a lot of people ask me for that, and I think that comes down to the corporate training budget side of things.
Yep.
But that's why you should have both, really, is
Yeah.
because like even just on right, we're split on it, so other
Right.
people aren't gonna. So
Right. It's the whole reason I have a subscription and bundle sales is because not everybody wants to do bundle sales, and some people want to just get everything, and they don't want to pay for it individually.
and that's the piece we were missing last time we talked about this, is we talked about looking at how many monthly subscribers would convert to
Yeah.
annual, but but the piece we're missing is how many people that wouldn't have bought monthly would have bought annual.
Yeah.
Because I think when you add that in, then it becomes a little bit more clear. Because there are going to be people that would never have bought monthly
Yeah.
but would buy if there's an annual. Because
Yeah.
I'm one of those people for a lot of things, not everything, but a lot of things. If you give me an annual, then I feel like I'm making less of a commitment, even though I'm technically making more of one. To me,
Yeah.
one purchase, you know, I'm especially if you're giving me a discount, I guess, because then I'm saying, well, you know, I don't know. To me, like like $10 a month seems like a lot more money than $80 for the year.
Right.
Even though it's not a lot more. I mean, I mean, it's more, but when you give that, I don't know. To me, I was like, okay, well, yeah, $80. It's like I'm just buying a thing, and if I like it, then I would pay $80 again next year, and if I don't, then I won't. So. But yeah, I think giving that option I think you'll see an increase. And if it doesn't work, then you can just turn it off. Not a big deal.
Yep.
So
pretty much. I just gotta the key to doing all of this for me is to put the video games down for a minute and actually get it done. Because I've really been enjoying having a chill, kind of relaxed existence for the last couple of months, and I should probably actually get some work done other than just maintaining where I am.
Oh, Josh, on that double opt-in also.
Yeah.
I don't use any opt-in I don't use any double opt-in.
Yeah, I know.
So it just occurred to me, like,
Yeah.
why don't we just not turn off the double opt-in? Or why don't we just turn off the double opt-in on that?
That's what he was
There's no-
trying to do.
There's no way to do that like globally. It's on a per campaign basis.
Oh, I see.
And
Okay,
I just
okay.
I actually just I got an email back from Drip Support, and they were saying that the API, so they've got a flag in the API that sets single versus double opt-in, which I thought because when I set up SumoMe, there was a checkbox for send a double opt-in email, and the API overrides the campaign settings.
Mm-hmm.
So Thrive has not. Now Thrive, I don't know. So Drip Support said they're trying to get Thrive to update their integration so that it works better, gives you more options. But Thrive has, in the support forums, they seem like they're pretty resistant to customizing the integrations per mail provider. They want to just have like a really simple integration. For everybody, so
Right.
might be kind of out of luck. But the forms work, so
Yeah, but yeah, exactly. When you use the forms one,
Yep.
then you don't have the double opt-in. It just
yeah,
automatically drives them, right? Okay,
yep.
yeah. Okay.
So I've got it working with the form, but
Yeah.
it is kind of nice. Like I do kind of like the cleaner API version of it. But,
Yeah.
So I have a question about this. It seems
Okay.
like when I first got into email marketing, everybody said that you had to do double opt-in.
Yeah, that's because they were lying. They were listening. No, so okay, so it's basic. To me, it's a no-brainer to use single opt-in. It's controversial, but here's how it breaks down. So if you use double opt-in, at least a third of people are not going to confirm.
True.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you lose a third of your email list right off the top. And that's not saying that those people don't want to be on your, like a lot of people say, oh, you'll get a higher quality subscriber if they have to click. Well, no, because those emails end up in spam folders. They end up getting I mean, like a surprising amount of email just vanishes in cyberspace, like never makes it to its destination. So is saying that, oh, well, the engaged people will be the ones to click isn't really true. Because some of those emails just vanish, and some of them end up in spam. So you're losing a third of your email list for no good reason. And then what you can do is just you can set up your list so that you identify the most active people and send more email to them, and then either unsubscribe people or just send less email to the people that aren't as engaged. So there's really no good reason. The reason that the mail companies push it because it helps them out a little bit with their sender scores. Right. So it's basically they make it sound like it's to your benefit to lose a third of your list when it really doesn't do anything for you. It just helps them a little bit, helps them manage their problems a little bit better.
So how do you turn it off?
Well, with Drip, I think you have to email support. There's not like a setting, but if you email support, they'll enable single opt-in on your account. Mailchimp, you can do single opt-in if you use their API. I don't think there's a way to turn it off globally though. And I think Aweber allows it as well, but I think you have to go through their support. So
all right, I'll bug support at Drip.
Yeah.
The only other danger is if you piss someone off and they write a script to opt into your list like a whole bunch of times.
Yeah, I've had people I saw Brendan Eich's email address come into my mailing list once. And clearly, Brendan Eich doesn't give a crap about me or need to hear anything that I have to say about JavaScript as the creator of JavaScript that he is.
But he might have been curious as to what you're producing.
Yeah.
Well, he could see all of that. I mean,
I would have thought that Bob Bly would never have opted into my list too, but he did. So
fair enough. But I saw his email come in to my list, and the opt-in never got confirmed.
Yeah.
So there are going to be people that just want to be assholes and try to get you in trouble and try to opt people in like that. So I personally think there is far more danger in not using double opt-in than there is inconvenience in using double opt-in.
Well, except for the fact that you're losing a third of your list by doing that. A third to half of your list you're losing by using double opt-in.
Well, those people probably didn't want to be on the list to begin with then.
Derek stepped away while I had
I stepped away, yes.
No, Derek, those emails end up in spam folders. They end up some of them just vaporize. Like you're still some of them are people that are just not that interested, but you're still losing. Still, a big chunk of those people are people that really, really, really wanted to get your emails. And didn't and aren't, so.
Yeah. I don't know.
I've never had anybody complain to me that they were subscribed fraudulently to my lists, except for the massive Sublime giveaway thing, which
that's
is kind of
different story entirely.
Yeah, that's yeah.
The other thing that occurs to me though is that, I mean, those are going to be the rare cases I think, unless you really just tick somebody off.
Yeah.
And it's really about, the reputation of their domain that they're sending from. So as long as you're doing the right stuff, you shouldn't have a problem there.
Yeah.
So, but in my book it's a no-brainer to use single opt-in. But that's my 2 cents.
Yeah.
So what else is new? Let's see. I've been telling you guys about the accountant that bookkeeper. He's doing a good job on the simple programmer books, getting things set up, and he figured out a way to take DPD reports and upload them into QuickBooks, I believe.
Very nice.
He's using that to reconcile, and then we're just taking transaction reports from PayPal and Stripe at the end of the month and using that to get the transaction fees. So that is looking good. So we should have pretty good books here in the short time.
I need to get something like that set up. My accounting situation is awful. I keep track of enough of it that I don't have any worry about running into legal problems. I mean, my accountant, my CPA, when I hand her a packet of stuff at the end of the year, basically says thank you for being organized and having everything that she needs. So clearly I'm doing something right, but on a month-to-month basis, I don't have a good level of knowledge of what my fees for Stripe and PayPal and things like that are.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm getting close as well. What I did was I went back because my bookkeepers had totally just screwed up everything back like 2 years. So I went back and uncategorized and recategorized about 1,200 transactions, like all the way back to I think 2013.
Wow.
And it wasn't. I mean, it took a couple hours. Like it took a few hours, but it wasn't really that hard. And then so when I did that though, my balance now like QuickBooks thinks I have about $56,000 in my business account, which is about 3 times what I actually have in there. So I wish that was the case. So I'm almost done now. All I have to do is go through my account, and the problem is everything was reconciled for last year. So I'm like, basically we're just reverting the reconciled status, and then my bookkeeper is going to go through and re-reconcile 2014, 2015, and then I'll be set, I'll be locked, and it'll be after that. All I'm going to have to do every month is on Saturday when I do like my weekly review, I'll go in and I'll categorize maybe like 10 transactions. Most of them will be automatically categorized by rules and everything, so I'll just click accept. And then I send my bookkeeper my bank statements, PayPal statement, Stripe statement, and my home office expenses, so like heating and all that stuff, and then she'll enter everything, and that's pretty much it. So it'll be like 10 minutes a month worth of my time to maintain. Yeah, I can't wait. I'm very happy, and I'll know exactly how much money it came in, where it's all going, and I can go back and look at it historically, and I can see how much I have month to month that's like, locked in monthly expenses that I'm paying versus discretionary spending. This is totally worth doing, and it's not that hard. If I had a decent bookkeeper, that's been the hardest part, is just finding somebody who's even remotely competent.
Yeah. I kind of wonder about that in the Waco area. This is not exactly a high technology town.
The guy we hired for Simple Programmers in Australia, so...
Okay.
Yeah, the thing that I'm running into is something similar to what you were talking about, Josh. My actual balance is about $24,000 less than what it says in QuickBooks. In fact, it's exactly $24,000 less.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if it's when I paid myself, if I marked it the wrong thing and it's just not counting it as an expense. That's what it looks like it is, but...
Yeah, what happened for me was I duplicated some transactions. Like I had a PayPal transfer that got marked. So like I got paid in PayPal, transferred it to my business account, and then I actually marked both of them as income versus like just a straight transfer. So there's like some duplication. Yeah. And it's pretty easy to do.
Yeah, see, I marked when I paid the money in as a transfer from the other checking account, which I'm going to close this week.
Okay.
But,
so you're just getting all set up, right?
Yeah, but when I paid myself for whatever reason, I don't think it's counting that as coming out of the account, and I'm not sure.
What for me, I'm using the owner's draw.
I didn't see an owner's draw in there.
Okay.
So I may have categorized it the wrong way.
Yeah.
I mean, I created my own expense as owner's draw, but I think I had to choose a category that it belonged in.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's something that is part of QuickBooks or if one of my previous accountants set it up, but
yeah. Anyway, I'll figure it out. I may just hire an accountant and then I'll just be really demanding for the first little while. No, I need it like this.
Yeah, it depends if you're doing cash or accrual based. Because like if you're doing accrual based and you're using double-ended bookkeeping, which means
I'm using cash. I'm doing cash based. I don't want to have to keep track of the other.
Yeah, we could John, we could send him over the 3 people we talked to.
Yeah, that's true.
That would be good.
So yeah, because there were 3 candidates for the Upwork job that John posted that were pretty strong.
Yep.
So it would at least be better than starting over.
Yeah, they automatically signed me up for the payroll portion of QuickBooks, and I had to call them up and tell them.
Oh.
Turn that off.
Don't get me started.
I don't want to. I don't need it. They're like, "Are you sure you have any employees?" I said 1, and I'm pretty sure I can keep track of myself all by myself.
Nice.
But yeah. Oh, the other thing, I don't know if I'm not sure if I mentioned it last week, but well, definitely officially now, Simple Programmer YouTube views are higher than
Oh
views
wow.
on the web page, on the web on Simple Programmer site. So I'm hitting about 130,000 views on YouTube videos per month now.
Wow.
So that's been growing as I've been producing like 15 videos a week.
On vacation.
Yes. So, and I've got tons of topics still. So, yeah, so that's growing really well. Like we're hitting now at the clip of 2,300 new subscribers per month. So that's actually growing faster than the email list. So 16,000 subscribers total at this point. My goal for the end of the year, is to hit 100,000. So I think it should be possible. I need to set up some collabs and stuff with some other channels. Someone already approached me about doing a collab. It's a good way to get subscribers with some good. Actually paying for some ads to get on YouTube to get subscribers, I think would probably be a good strategy too. But yeah, YouTube is definitely growing extremely well. So pretty happy about that. So
we got the so I have been working on getting the this week a email course set up to promote the 10 steps program. And we used, Derek, I'll have to send you guys the diagram. We used the new workflows in Drip.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness, it's so amazing. It's so incredible. So
I got all the way to the point of I clicked new workflow and then I had to go do other things.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about as far as I got too.
It is so amazing. So this workflow, it would have been like 20 rules just at least probably to get all this working. But yeah, what I've got is, let me open it up actually. So basically, you sign up, you submit the form to sign up, and it starts there, and then it will. So you submit the form, and actually, the form isn't even connected to the campaign directly. The workflow does that. So you can add a next step, which is next step is I tag people with the name of the funnel or the name of the course, and then I put them in the campaign, and then they get 6 emails from the campaign. And then we have a condition. So if they're already tagged, so the campaign actually pitches the course at full price.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an email course, and it's 5 learning mistakes that developers make, and each email ends with a pitch for the course. So if they buy at any point, then they get tagged as a customer, and they just exit the workflow. If they don't buy, we put them into a sales sequence. So about 3 or 4 days after the course ends, they get dropped into like a 36-hour sales sequence. They get 4 emails offering the course at a discount. And then from there, what we're going to do is, I haven't built this yet, but I'm going to put them, so when they exit that, I'm going to put them into another workflow that will basically pitch them the blogging course. If they haven't taken the blogging course already, they'll get offered the blogging course. And then we'll do the same thing with the blogging course. We'll put them into a workflow, and if they've not taken the 10 steps or the 5 mistakes course, we'll pitch them that. And we're gonna cross promote the different courses that we build, and the workflow. Oh my goodness, it just makes it so incredibly easy.
It sounds like I really need to get online because I've got some ridiculously complicated rules that move things around right now, and it's kind of a nightmare to manage.
It's so great. You can put delays in. Yeah. You can so I have them. Yeah, I have a delay in there.
Yeah, I'm doing all of that. Everything that you just described, I'm doing all of that already, but I'm doing it the hard way.
You can't do the conditionals. And then you can do it with API. You're probably programming it.
No, I'm using segments, so it's kind of a conditional. So
I set up
individual emails and campaigns go to this segment,
Mm-hmm.
and I drop people in and out of segments based on things that happen.
Right. The other thing that's cool is these goals, which Rob says they invented this idea, but basically when the goal gets triggered, they get pulled, like they jump to that point in the sequence.
Oh wow!
So we've got
That's cool.
So whenever with the 2-day sales sequence, whenever they buy, they jump out of the sales sequence and just go straight to this goal, which then removes them from the campaign and they're done. So they don't get all the rest of the sale emails.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah,
Rob,
I kind of sort of have that going on again with segments. When I do a giant sales pitch for a week, I'll send individual broadcast emails to a segment,
right?
And that segment excludes people that are tagged for purchasing that item.
You can't do that with campaigns though, with like autoresponders, and that's where this is so amazing, is because you can it gives you the option to do it.
Nice.
Within the autoresponder sequences. So, I'm really pumped, and so we'll have to see. So and it shows you at each step how many people are in each step.
Oh, very nice.
Currently, right now, there's 20 people getting the 10 steps 5 mistakes course.
Yeah.
So it's brilliant. It is amazing, and it's so easy to use. I had a question. I wasn't sure. So you can trigger the workflow to start based off of different events, and one of them was the form submissions, and another one is the subscribe to a campaign, and that was what I was using for the API. So I was confused. Like, is it going to they subscribe to the campaign and they get out of this workflow and resubscribe to the campaign? Are they going to be getting 2 emails, like duplicate emails? And no, it handles it correctly. So. Yeah, it's pretty freaking amazing. So
nice.
Definitely. Rob sent me. He showed me the drip. So they have all of their stuff. They had like dozens and dozens and dozens of rules for the drip onboarding sequence. Yeah. And he sent me their workflow, and it looks like you could print it out in pretty small font on a poster, on like a full wall poster. And they just have one giant workflow now for everything. Yeah, like I can't even imagine. That must have been so different. They probably had something visual like that with the rules. Like
they probably had their own Visio workflow chart and then coded the rules based on it.
Yeah.
Exactly. So now they have the same workflow chart. It's just that the workflow chart is the actual implementation.
Yeah, and it was so. I mean, like for me, I had issues where, like with the rules, it's really easy to screw up. I was adding people, removing people from a campaign and adding them right back in. It's like an infinite loop. And that's obvious now with the visual approach. So we're running right now. I'm running a A/B test on a welcome mat, a Thrive welcome mat. And John, this is fun because you get so much traffic.
Like it's actually a meaningful A/B test.
Yeah, we can actually test this in like a couple days. We'll be able to tell. But yeah, it's converting right now. Between the two of them, one of them's converting close to 3%, and one's converting at like almost a little over 2%. So we'll see. John, I was thinking we'll do like maybe. Would you be okay putting like 200 people into this, and then to give us an idea of how the sequence converts?
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, let's do that. Hey, you might want to turn on the ribbon. Like after we get on this call as well. Like if you look at if you expand the learning mistakes and the how to build a blog that boosts your career, you'll notice that the other things aren't really effective. But the ribbon does convert at 0.36%, which is not great, but that'll be cumulative. That'll add to the total conversion. Whereas like the widget is nothing. It's like 0.03. That's not even worth having. So I actually disabled that. The post footer again was like 0.1. So I don't know if that's really worth having. That one maybe, but definitely the ribbon makes sense.
Yeah. So the problem we're having right now with Thrive, I actually submitted a feature request because what I want to do is I want to show the welcome gate for the 5 mistakes course. And then if they don't do anything with that, a few days later show them the blogging course.
Right.
And right now you can only have one or the other. You can't have both, which is silly. Like they should let you rotate between different offers like that. So I put in a feature request. We'll have to see if they want to go anywhere with it. But yeah, so we're taking basically anybody we get into the 5 mistakes course right now, we're taking away from the blogging course. So we don't want to.
Yeah, we can't leave it too long because
Yeah.
the blogging course is a big revenue.
Yeah, although if the we'll have to see, because if the blogging if this converts anywhere near as well as I'm hoping it will, the revenue might be the same or better than the blogging course. Yeah.
Right, but even if it's the same or better, the thing is right now, well, okay, so if we look at January,
Yeah.
I think we did roughly $3,500 on how to market yourself, like
Right.
just on sales,
Right.
and then $3,500 in 10 steps. And
Right.
we didn't advertise 10 steps really or have any kind of course. So,
Right.
but then we also had like the Bluehost referrals from the blogging course. So that
Right.
made, but what I'm saying with that is a lot of the people that we may have sold the 10 steps to, like we'd actually have to be able to pull like 7,000 or so from this new funnel in order to make it, because we're already getting 3,500 without it.
Yeah,
See?
no,
And
no, I know,
blogging course,
I know what you're saying. I was just looking at the per subscriber revenue actually. So
Oh, okay, yeah.
yeah, so it would be like if this funnel converts at 3%, the per subscriber revenue will probably be pretty much exactly the same as the blogging course. So
Right, exactly, right. Which,
Yeah.
but yeah, so it has to do. We have to do more in order to be able to. If because we'd be missing out on the blogging course people, and we'll be stealing some of the sales of people that would just buy the 10 steps without signing up. You see what I'm saying?
that's possible. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a good point.
Because if we continue to get $3,500 of revenue from the 10 steps without people going through the email course, just visiting the page,
Hmm.
and we're adding another 3,500 or so, then
Yeah.
absolutely. That's why I said we'd have to hit around 7K. So we need
Yeah.
some way. I don't know. We'll have to talk about it.
We'll have to figure out how to. It's
Yeah.
impossible. It's like some of this stuff is like it's really tough to tease out where it's actually coming from.
Yeah.
So, like even with like some of the revenue you're getting now from like Bluehost and stuff, some of that's not coming from the blogging course. Probably some of it's coming from random blog posts. And do you have like a resources page?
Yeah.
So there's some of that's coming through there. So it's really tough to figure out.
Exactly.
Without just letting it run for a couple months and going, oh crap, look, our revenue's down like $2,000.
A majority comes through the blogging course.
Yeah.
There's some benefit. Like the other thing to consider, like with the blogging course, is that people put the badge on their site, which we should put a new landing page, as I'm thinking about this, for the badge. Right now the badge just links to a blog post about the course, about the blogging course, like of graduates, but it really should go to a landing page, an opt-in page that's really targeted, like start your own blog, and that, because that would increase that. But we do have a lot of blogs out there that have that badge now, and then one of the assignments in the blogging course is to write a blog post about the blogging course, and I get about one of those a day that I see it coming back on. So the blogging course is building like a big network as well.
Right.
So.
Your own spammer network.
In fact, it's funny, my real estate agent actually, she's like, oh, I clicked on your link on your bio on one of your emails, your footer, because I want to see what you're doing and what else you're up to. And she's like, I'm gonna sign up for your blogging course.
Nice.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that converts with the lead.
Yeah, I think 200 people should give us a little snapshot. I'm thinking it'll be like that page by itself converts at like 1.8% just from random traffic. So I think we could if we could hit 3%, then it would be we'd be making about $2.50 per subscriber at that point. So. But yeah, I also got, so this week for me, I got my I had this client project, the big client project that I got towards the end of last year, the mortgage lead generation company. That project had just dragged on and on and on. The sales page for that was massive. It was like about 7,000 words, and we went through like I have like 7 drafts in Scrivener of that stupid thing. And they didn't like at one point they didn't like the lead, so I had to rewrite like the top third of it, and it was yeah. So I just finished that up this week. I sent them the last. There were a couple of emails, a couple batches of emails, and a couple squeeze pages I wrote, and they signed off on all of it. So I'm like done. So that's a huge relief. So happy. So basically, simple programmer now. Trying to think if there's anything else exciting for me. Not
I
really.
mentioned a couple of weeks ago that I was talking to somebody about doing some additional consulting work, and they basically said no because my price is too high.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. It's like, all right, well, bye. So I mean, it's like you said, Josh. I'm in the place now where I don't really need that money. It's not.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm living quite comfortably with the income I have now. So it's if I can find another client to do something like that with, that'd be pretty sweet. But I'm not gonna worry about it.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it's a nice position to be in. Like when you've got multiple things coming at you all the time.
Yeah.
And you just know all you'd have to do is like if you really were in a tight spot, all you have to do is lower your price a little bit.
Yeah.
And you can pick something up immediately.
Yeah, I have no doubt that if I sent out a tweet or two, that I'd have some job offers pretty quickly for contracts. So that is definitely a good thing, a good situation to be in. Looks like Chuck disappeared.
He did.
Cool.
We should totally just hang up the call while he's gone. I did that with a couple of my friends a couple days ago.
We should sign off, but not like actually end the call.
But just have a blank video. And he comes back and what? Hello?
Turn our video and audio off, and then just walk away.
Oh, he's back. Shh.
Dad, my movie's over.
Yeah.
Sick kid.
We were talking about hanging up the call while you were gone.
Yeah.
You would have just gotten an email from me. Yeah. Sorry, guys.
No, I did something like that with some friends of mine a couple of weeks ago in video games. It was at like 2 in the morning or something, and I was tired. So one of my friends, there were 2 guys that I was playing with, and one of my friends got up to get another drink or go to the bathroom or something. And so after he put his mic down and left, I told the other guy, "Hey, I'm going to bed." But when the first guy gets back, act like I'm still here. Keep playing, talk to me every once in a while like I'm still here.
Oh man!
Like the next day, I texted them both to see how it went, and he had the first guy stringing along for about 20 minutes, thinking that it was just him not being able to see or hear me. It was pretty funny.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Am I hellbanned?
Exactly. What's going on? Like I don't see him. Speaking of hanging up, unless we have anything else to say, I don't know. I guess it's kind of a short week. I don't feel like I'm really doing anything worth talking about these days. I'm kind of just maintaining what I've been doing. So.
Oh, Derek, one thing I was going to suggest was, what if are you worked ahead on your blog post at all?
No, unfortunately. I was prior to December. Okay. So I was like 2 or 3 weeks ahead of schedule, and now I'm not. And I'm a couple of weeks ahead on Watch Me Code again, which is giving me a little more comfort level to start blogging again. So I've had 2 blog posts this week, and I want to write. I want to get ahead on my blog post again.
Yeah.
And getting Watch Me Code ahead is the key to doing that, so that I'm not stressing about getting Watch Me Code done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was just because for me, like with my emails, like I stay at. I'm only like a week ahead usually, but I'm gonna actually probably start doing like one extra one a week,
Mm-hmm.
and then they just sort of builds up over time.
Yep. Yeah, there was a time years ago where I was literally blogging every day, and I was like 2 months ahead of time.
Wow.
It was insane. It was a goal that I set for myself. I don't know. This was like 2009, 2010 or something. I set a goal at the beginning of a year. I want to blog every day for a month, and so I did. And as I started writing every day, I found myself wanting to write more than once a day. So I did. I just let myself write whenever I felt like it. And I had like 3 months worth of blog posts every single day.
Wow.
And eventually I got busy with the project or whatever and had to stop doing it. But it was intense, but it was also fun. It improved my writing a lot by writing every day like that.
So here's something interesting for you guys. Your opinion on this? Well, I mean, from a revenue perspective, I don't know, but my the audio version of my soft skills book
Mm-hmm.
is now, I think, significantly outstripping the print version in sales.
Wow.
Wow.
It's number
On
5.
Audible or?
Yeah, on Audible. So for the computers section in Audible, it's number 5, and for
Wow.
like health, it's like number 8 in
Oh,
Audible.
wow.
Top 10.
Yeah, it's up there like it's right up there with Derek's
Oh.
favorite 4-hour body.
Yeah.
Health's got to be pretty competitive.
Yeah, that's got to be a competitive. So, I mean, the price is less, right, for the audio version. It's like
Mhm.
$22 unless you're an Audible member. Then I think it's like $15 or 1 credit. And then I get a smaller cut. I think my publisher I think Amazon probably takes something like 40% and gives them 60, and then I get 10% of that, or 15%, I guess, something around there. So it's I don't think I'll be making as much money, but I'm getting a lot more exposure. So I guess that's probably worth it. I guess I'm trying to figure out if was doing the audio version the right. I guess it is, because yeah, I mean it doesn't.
It's a different audience.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And actually, a lot of times, for books that I like, I will sometimes buy the Kindle, the audio, and
Yeah.
print version. I mean, there's books that I've bought, at least bought the Kindle and the print version, because I want to
Yeah.
have, I want to be able to actually feel it, hold it.
I'm the same way with certain tech books. I mean, I still have a bookshelf full of tech books, and I find certain types of tech books to be more valuable as a physical book
Mm-hmm.
because it's far easier to thumb through it, find what I need, and keep
Yep.
going. It's significantly more difficult to do that with ebooks.
Yeah, the
Yep.
other thing that's nice, though, is if you have the Kindle version and the audio version, then Amazon's, I think they call it WhisperSync,
Mm-hmm.
well, actually, if you listen ahead, then when you come back to the Kindle, it'll catch you up.
Oh, nice.
And then when you read more on the Kindle, then it'll catch you up on the audio. So
That's
I
cool.
see. Yeah, that is a pretty cool feature. Okay. Yeah. Well, I guess it's definitely good that it's selling so well.
Yeah.
So
yep.
Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind, at least, that you did the right thing in doing that. Just
Mm-hmm.
because the whole point for you was to grow your audience and exposure and everything, and this is another channel for you to have that kind of growth, and it's adding a lot more people into your fan base.
that's true.
Yeah, John, I was thinking too, at some point we need to build some funnels to sell the book.
Oh, to sell the book. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the blogging course has a little thing at the bottom. I mean, it's not specifically
Yeah.
targeted, but there's a few
Right.
some
Mhm.
sales come in definitely from that. But yeah, that's
Yeah.
not a bad idea.
We could have that could be a whole email course that really easily. So, and we could ask for reviews and stuff too.
Yeah.
So, and it's one of those things where it'll push people both ways, because like a lot of people that buy the book will, if they find the book and they don't know about you, they'll come back and subscribe. So.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, you should check out. You'll have to check out my soft skills email course, like for the people that sign up. I've got an email sequence that goes through and.
Oh, okay. For the
a few things. Yeah, it probably
okay.
needs to be reworked to some degree, but I did set up that email sequence.
Okay.
So and like something like 700 people have come through it. So
Wow. Yeah.
yeah, they people right now, like if you look in Drip, which kind of interesting, the book it brings in like if you look at new subscribers and then you filter that based on the soft skills campaign.
Hmm.
Let me see what we get here. Oh, where is it? I think I was gonna say it was like 100 a month, but that yeah, soft skills bonus content. And if you look at the monthly, it comes up. Yeah, okay. So monthly, we're looking at like for January, 168 new subscribers from the soft
Hmm.
skills. So
Which,
these are people coming
yeah,
from the book.
which doesn't seem like a lot, but those are actually probably some of the best subscribers that you get. Like that's like probably it's 8 to 10, about 8% maybe of the overall subscribers per month, but those are going to be some of the highest quality people. So
Yep, exactly. Yep.
that's that's pretty good.
So yeah, so they do come in from the book. So, but I guess also the other advantage too is like if I were to produce another book, considering that this one is a best-selling book, then it almost automatically makes the next one that you write a best-selling book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, it'll definitely help.
Yeah,
They'll pull each other up.
so that
Nice.
probably be something to consider in the future too. But, cool. Well, yeah, I think that's all I've got. I don't think I'm eager to get really back into the routine. That's why I moved up the moving schedule so that I can really start rolling out. I think the next major thing that I'm working on with Simple Programmer will be that entrepreneurial course. That'll be like $1,000 plus area course that is going to talk about going from developer to entrepreneur.
Yeah, that will be a fun launch.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
And then next week we've got the Traffic and Conversion Summit. So
Yep.
I think Friday, you're flying out early, right?
Yeah, I will not be here on Friday of next week.
I should be here, I think. So, all right, should we wrap it up unless anyone's got anything else?
Let's do it.
All right. All right. Talk to you
Any
guys next
thoughts
week.
for the week before we
Oh
go?
yeah, thoughts.
Or
Yeah, that's what we're missing. Thoughts for the week.
I got nothing.
I like. Oh, nice, Derek.
I know.
Yeah, nice.
I guess I do have one complaint. It's not really a thought for a week. Well, okay, I can turn it into a thought for a week. Don't prevent your employees from doing their job. Let's say that, because my client is in lockdown mode for literally any change to any system anywhere in the company has
Oh
been
my goodness.
frozen to the point where it requires VP approval to do your job. It's ridiculous, and it's a giant nightmarish ball of stupid reasons. But yeah, that's don't prevent your employees from doing their job. And don't punish the whole organization just because of a few people doing something stupid.
Let's see. I got one. So I was listening to a book and I heard a quote. He said, "In order, if you don't let go of what you have, you can't get what you want." And I thought that was pretty good. Like when you think about that.
I heard a similar thing. I think the version I heard was let go of what you want to get what you need, or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but I like your version of it.
Or there's a song that's like,
Don't go chasing waterfalls. Oh wait.
what is it? Get what you want, get what you need. I don't know, but anyway. I thought that was an interesting idea, just the thought of like you have to let go of what you have in order to get what you want. And if you're not willing to let go of what you have, then you can't like straddle the fence. You can't be like, well, I sort of like I don't want to like lose this thing that I've got, but I want to like find the safety to jump to the new thing that I want. You've got to be willing to let go of that thing that security that you have in order to get this thing that you want. Otherwise, you're playing it. You're not giving it your all, and you're playing both sides, and you'll eventually lose. Possibly both things. So.
Yep. Totally.
And it's a hard. I think that's like, especially like for people listening to this show. I think.
Well, I mean, just go back and listen to the old episodes where I'm complaining about Signal Leaf versus Watch Me Code.
Yeah.
Perfect example of that.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, Derek, which one do you want? Pick one. Focus.
Yeah, I had, and actually, I mean, I don't know if I can condense it down into one thought, but I found myself this week realizing that I had all these little paper cuts that were bleeding off my time, and so it was kind of the same thing. I just cut the cord on a lot of stuff and realized, okay, well that's where that's why I felt like I didn't have any time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so my default answer for the rest of the year on anything is no. Like literally, there's stuff that I really wanted to do that I've already said no to. So.
Hey Josh, you want $1 million?
Okay,
No.
all right. That's
No.
different.
No.
Yeah, no, yes,
No.
definitely.
Yeah. So my thought last night, I found
Don't
out a
go
couple.
fishtailing down the side of a mountain.
Yeah, that. So last night, there are a bunch of neighbors that get together for game nights, and apparently I'm cool enough to get invited along. So I went and played a bunch of board games last night, and not everything has to be about getting where you want to go. I mean, sometimes you just have to slow down, have a good time, just spend some time with some other people, and just relax a little bit. And
Totally.
that was kind of the thing that I kind of learned again this week. It seems like I keep, I'll either push it too hard and eventually, get sick like I am or something, or something will come up and eventually I'll have to slow down and take some time for myself. And if I can just do it on my own without pushing it, then things get better. So.
Yep. Cool. All right. That's it. Talk to you guys next week then.
Yep.
Great. See ya.
All right.
Bye.
Take care.